I know why y'all left it behind. I shouldn't say that because y'all probably thinking like this shit is super expensive. It is, but it's not. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, VIAGLO. If you're new here, my name is Gloria and I'm a full-time reseller on multiple different apps and I resell clothes and shit. So in today's video, I have a ship with me video and I'm just gonna be shipping out some orders and we'll discuss some of them. I'll talk to you guys about my cost of goods, how much I actually profited from the item, what platform it sold and how quickly it sold. So let's just jump right in. All right, so the first thing is actually these blanky leggings, just because they just sold literally like 10 minutes ago while I was filming a different video. So we'll just get these out of here. So with this brand, I do want to say that this is very much so a bolo. I think I've sold this brand maybe about 7 or 8 times. I've been lucky enough to find a lot of their leggings all the time. And I actually used a pair when I was pregnant and I personally didn't like the brand like at all. I didn't like how it looked on me and it just felt weird. So I didn't like this brand at all, but I know that it is popular amongst, you know, the pregnant girls because it is a pregnant and postpartum brand. So yeah, this brand is actually, I feel like what people like most about it is that it is thick and it does hug you perfectly. But I feel like if you are smaller or if you just have like a conventional body shape, I think this is perfect for you because you are gonna have a big belly because you're pregnant, but then you also have like a somewhat smaller frame, your butt is much smaller, and it just kind of works out. And I feel like for me, that wasn't the case. So I didn't like them. It felt perfect around my belly, but like I said, my tush, it just wasn't working. So I ended up reselling mine and they actually sold fairly quickly. I am having a hard time selling the compression ones because I bought both of mine on Mercari for like 20 bucks, I want to say. So yeah, and I don't know. I can't sit here and say that I would recommend this brand because I don't personally like it, but it's definitely a great brand to pick up if you're going to resell it because she's gonna sell pretty quickly. I actually just got these last week and they sold for $30. She sent me a $28 offer, which I thought was laughable because I had it listed at $38. I typically start all of my blanky leggings at $38 because I typically want to get about $30 for it. So I had it listed at $38 and she sent me $20. So I did $30 and she waited a little while and then she finally accepted it. So I'm like, that's awesome. So we love to see it. And I actually only paid 47 cents for these at the bins and I profited $23.53, which we love to see it. I actually don't know how the cashier at the bins ended up charging me only 47 cents, but I'm honestly not going to complain because I love to save money and we love to, you know, get stuff for cheap. But I thought that it was kind of funny because I do remember talking about it in one of my past vlogs that I had 75 pounds. That's what it came up to, which I also thought was very strange because I'm like, I did have 3 bags, but I don't think it was 75 pounds. But she ended up charging me 25 pounds. So I was like, I'm not gonna say nothing. And I only paid 47 cents for a lot of my items. So we love that. All right, the next one sold on eBay. It's just a Nike's hat. I actually regret picking this up only because I didn't think it through as far as like how would it be shipped, like what was the plan, you know? So it's just this basic hat sold on eBay for $5 and a lot of them that was listed was like between $10 to $15. And I know that this is actually not priority, but I'm gonna just, you know, try to at least protect it for the most part and do one of these numbers. Don't do this, okay? Do not do this. But I just wanted to protect the hat. So yeah, I got that and I actually paid $1 for it because I didn't write down my cost of goods, which I don't know how I did that. I probably planned on keeping it, but then decided that I didn't want it. So I profited $3.64. Probably won't pick it up again, honestly. It did get a lot of attention on Poshmark, got a lot of attention on eBay. So I thought that it would have sold for like that you know, $12 price point. Oh, I didn't even show y'all. So this is a pretty little top that I got from the bins, and one of my viewers actually purchased this, and they messaged me right after they purchased it that they love it and they wanted to get it. And I was so happy that they did, because I thought that it was so pretty when I saw it, and I was like, somebody is gonna love this. And it was one of my viewers, so we love to see it. Hey girl, hey, if you watching. But this is a Lucky Brand shirt or blouse. I don't generally pick up Lucky Brand that often, but when I do pick it up, it's always going to be a larger size, because I do feel like the larger size does a lot better for me than the smaller sizes. And I've picked up all sizes. Let's be real. Lucky Brand has turned into one of those brands that is a bread and butter, which I never thought I'd see the day, because I think in the beginning of my reselling business, I picked this up like one time, and I think I sold that item for like a good $8, and I said, oh, never again. I'm never gonna pick this brand up again. And I vowed to never do it, and I didn't until I started going to the bins. And I started seeing it a little bit more often, and then I started seeing, you know, cute boho tops. So I was like, let me test it out. And as I was testing it out, it was doing pretty good. So I was like, I'm gonna keep picking it up. And I know a lot of people have given up on this brand, but I don't know. I think their tops do well. I did have a little run-in with like their jeans and stuff where I was picking those up. I've noticed that they sit a little bit longer than I would like. So at the same time, I try to be real cautious with not picking it up too much, because I just don't want it to sit for a long time. Let me know down below if you pick up Lucky Brand, if it's like one of your bread and butters, or if it's like it has to be really special in order for you to pick it up, because I don't know. So this one sold for $19. I do believe my Posher VA sent them an offer. They accepted it. I paid $1.09 for it, so I profited $12.09 off of this item. All right, so this is actually from my personal closet, and it is a Skims pajama set. I bought these, I want to say over the summer, because it was getting really hot. Y'all know I was pregnant over the summer, and it fit perfectly. These are a size large, and now that I am in my postpartum body, they don't fit, and I don't like how they hug me. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and resell them. Skims have a great resale value to them, so I had them listed at $85. I was willing to go at about $50, honestly, because I thought $50 would have been like a really good price point, but someone sent me an offer for $60, and of course I accepted it, because I think that's a great price point to, you know, sell an item that has been used. So yeah, because this does go for a lot, and I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I do think I got it on sale if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, these sold. I personally would love to find Skims at the bins. I think I found it twice before, and it was items that I would have never thought to actually buy for myself on Skims website. So it was kind of cool. I didn't sell them for a lot. One was like a hoodie, another one was a pair of like sweatpants, and I think I sold them for like 25, 30 bucks, which to me is still a win, you know? So yeah, so we love that. So like I said, these sold for $60. I technically didn't put anything into them just because they came from my personal closet, so I don't really calculate that as, you know, what I spent on them. So this is actually just extra money for me, basically. So I profited $48 off of something that I used for a little bit, and I resold it. Okay, the next one is this Ralph Lauren sweater. I personally, like I just been telling y'all, been trying to slow down with picking up this brand, just because it sits and it sits and it sits. It does get attention, so it's not really like, you know, it has come to a full stop, but it does sit a while, a lot longer than I'm used to. I'm used to flipping, you know, Ralph Lauren between 2 to 4 weeks, and stuff just sits a little bit longer for me. But ironically enough, I do have 2 pieces in this ship with me video that actually sold, so I love it. And this is just a cable knit top. For some reason, I picked this up because it was giving very much so preppy vibes, and I thought it was gonna sell on Depop, but it actually sold on Poshmark. I received a $20 offer in the middle of the night. I had it listed at $32, which I thought was very reasonable to begin with for this style of a sweater. And I waited a little while because it had like 6 or 8 likes on it, and it was getting attention on Mercari as well. But once I woke up and I saw, you know, nobody else messaged to, you know, send their offer, I went on and accepted it because, like I said before, I am not in the business of hoarding items, especially because I did get this from the bins, and $20 is not a bad offer. It's just that I would have preferred to get over $30 for it. So yeah, there's that. But this one sold for $20 and I paid 76 cents for it. So I profited $15.24 off of this item, which is not bad. It's not bad at all. I don't typically use boxes, but I think this size is probably perfect for a box. I'm trying to be like McThrifty, I think that's how you pronounce her name, where she doesn't really like to use the boxes where she has to use her own tape, just because you save a lot of money by not using your own tape and just using the self-adhesive ones that USPS provides you with. But I think, like I said, this is a perfect size for this box, and I need to start trying to get rid of these boxes because for some reason I only use the tie-back mailers, which you guys see here, and then the poly ones that have the bubble to them. So we gotta make sure we utilize everything and not just those two. But I think moving forward, I'm probably gonna not pick up or not put in an order for other sizes of boxes, because I use these for the most part, but then I also use the 1095 or 1097s the most, so it's almost pointless for me to get any other boxes because I very seldomly use them. This one is very surprising, and it makes me eat my words because I just put this on a brand no-go list. I'll link that video down below if you haven't saw it, but this is just a vintage Adidas fleece. I picked this up because it was in fact vintage, and it was vintage 90s at that, and I thought, you know, it would do well, and then I was like, okay, it's not getting any attention, so maybe it's probably not going to sell. This is also a Depop specific pickup, but I have to also realize too, like Depop, I want to say maybe medium and large, even extra large is probably a good size for the kids that are on that website. Not necessarily an XL, or not XL, I'm sorry, a 2XL. But I picked this up because it was vintage, and you know, I love picking up vintage stuff just because, you know, you won't see it made anymore. I mean, they probably could make this sweater again, but it's not gonna be the same, okay? So I picked this one up with the hopes of getting about $45 for it, because that's what I price all of my vintage sportswear styles at, because the goal is to get about $30 to $35. So I priced it at $40. Recently I've changed my pricing strategy only because I noticed that when it comes time to send out offers, I'm lowballing myself, because if I'm already pricing the item at a buy it now price and then I send you a 30% off offer, now I'm only profiting $10 on something that I should have profited at least $25 on. So I got a little bit better when it comes to that. So I price up, and I just wait for the right person to come along and to send me an offer, or, you know, if it's time for me to send them an offer, we can work it out that way. So that's what I did with this, and I had it listed at $45, and they sent me a $35, or I think my Pasha VA sent them an offer of $35, which is 22% off plus discounted shipping, and they accepted that offer on Poshmark. So I ended up paying 94 cents for this item, and I profited $27.06. I feel like I'm probably gonna keep picking up vintage, and not all vintage, but just kind of like more substantial pieces, because recently I sold that Adidas sweater. I think I put it in one of my what sold for April video, but I sold that a lot quicker than I thought I was, and it sold internationally. So I was just kind of thinking like, okay, maybe it has to be substantial pieces from Adidas, not just basic tank tops and shorts and t-shirts and stuff like that. It has to be something like a good sweater with, you know, a nice print to it, a nice vibe, vintage. That one particularly was velour. This one is just a regular fleece, but all of the sizes have been 2XL. So they've been, you know, great sizes, I want to say, for the most part. I'm doing a lot of talking, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Is that I will be mindful of what exactly I pick up. I like to typically just level out 2 of these when it's a larger item and just tape that, slide it over, close that up. I'm gonna tape this one to this one as well, and then slide it. So I recently decided that how I want to store my inventory at my new place is going to be a lot easier for me and just much more effective, because I personally love wrapping my items. I think that this style of getting something is so much more nicer than getting it in like a clear poly bag. And I'm not trying to say nothing about nobody that does that. I think that that's great for you, but for me personally, I enjoy doing this part of shipping. It is not tedious for me. I enjoy it, so I think I'm gonna make sure that I'm in a position to be able to do this instead of having to rip it out the poly bag and be annoyed because I'm essentially wasting money, because if I'm taking out the poly bag and then I'm putting it in this, it doesn't make any sense, you know? So yeah, let me go grab it. I need to change out this tape too. I try to buy these by the bulk because I run out a lot quicker than I would like. I'm a hot mess, hold on y'all. But yeah, so I found the box. This is actually the, why don't it say? Yeah, don't say. I don't know what size it is, but this is the larger size of the other size that I like. Sometimes I am so happy when a bulky item actually sells on Poshmark, because then I get to use the shipping supplies and I don't have to like rig anything up. Because since I haven't purchased any poly mailers, which I just recently did, but I had to rig a lot of clothes up because I didn't have the poly mailers for them on the other platform. I hate when these are like not organized. All right, so next is this 𝕃𝔼 men's t-shirt. I think this brand is okay. It sits a while, but it does sell. I picked this up, I want to say maybe 1 or 2 other times, I'm not mistaken. And I remember me and that particular buyer went back and forth on the item, but I remember getting it from a regular thrift store. So I was a little bit more reluctant on taking anything less than what I had it listed at. So when I pick it up at the bins, I don't mind it. And I was actually surprised that this one sold for its full asking price. And it was only after I relisted it. I think relisting is just so important. I personally relist every single day manually. I just like to do it on my own, for the reason being that I want to not only drop the price, but I want to know what is being relisted, you know? So that's the reason why I do it, and because I'm a control freak, so let's be honest. So I do that, and I'm able to lower the price to a price that I feel like would be more suitable for that item, just because that means it sat for, you know, 2 months and it didn't sell. So now it's time to make it sell by lowering the price to something that somebody is willing to pay for. So I did it at $25, because I think I priced this initially at like either $32 or $25, because I wanted it to be like an offer situation where I send out an offer and then they purchase it from that offer. So now you know, my price strategy is to price it a little bit higher to make room for it sending out an offer. And if somebody send me a lower offer, I can still accept it or entertain it because it's not that low, you know? So that is where I'm pretty much at. But this one sold for 20 bucks and I paid $1.43. So I made a profit of $14.57 off of this item. Let me know down below if you've actually picked up this brand before, because it's a quiet little menswear brand. Nothing that's like, you know, super expensive, but it's a good little brand to find at the bins and sell it. All right, so I actually recently thrifted this, and it's a 𝕃𝔸𝕊𝕋 top. I think I have a mixed opinion about this brand, only because they make quality pieces. Anytime I go into Dick's Sporting Goods, it has its own subsection. So it's a pretty good brand, like, and it's super girlified. And I just feel like it should be doing a lot better on the resale market, just because it's a great brand. They have quality pieces and it's more suitable for women. But that is not always the case. So when I picked this up, I'm like, okay, this is in a like new condition. It's in a larger size. This one's gonna do great. I think I had this one listed at $25 just because like I said before, the pricing strategy has gotten a little bit better. So instead of me listing it at $32 and waiting for like a $25 offer, I just went on and listed it at $25, and somebody came in and offered me $22, which I thought was a random number, but I guess they was probably trying to just pay like 30 bucks for it in total. So when they sent me that, I was like, of course, you know. So it sold for $22. I put 94 cents into this item, and I think I only stored it for under 2 weeks, I want to say. And I paid 94 cents and I profited $16.66. So I'd have to say that's a little bit of a win there for this brand. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I adore my cost of goods. I think that me going to the bins and getting items at a really cheap amount really does make room for me to be able to accept, you know, lower dollar offers and, you know, and be okay with it for the most part. All right, so this is a brand called Universal Standards. I actually recently found a pair of jeans at a thrift store, and I did pay up for them because it was my first time finding the brand and actually bringing it home. So when I saw this at the bins, I was so excited. And I noticed that the sold comps were at $35 to $40. I priced mine at $45. And my Poshmark actually sent out offers to watchers, and this got immediate attention. Like, I mean, I want to say this was listed maybe 2 or 3 days before it sold. So sent them an offer, and the latest person that liked the item actually purchased it. So I was really happy about that because this is a turnaround time that I would prefer in my business. Let things come in and then they leave within a few days, so that way I don't have to store it for a long time. But it was just this beautiful jersey knit piece. It was very relaxed, very comfortable. I saw the tag, I was like, oh hell yeah. And it was in a like new condition, so I was like, I'm not gonna pass this up. So it sent them that offer for $35, and I only paid 47 cents for it. So I made a profit of $25.51 on this item, and it was a pretty quick flip. Let me know down below if you pick up Universal Standards, because I feel like lately I have been seeing a lot of resellers talk about this brand. So I was like itching to find it, and when I finally found it and actually brought it home, because I think I told y'all a story of me finding it, and I ended up leaving it because the item was like really big, and I didn't want to shame the item by having it on my tiny little hanger. So I just left it there. But this was actually a size small, and it photographed well. I found a perfect stock photo. It just worked out perfectly. All right, this one is a Bolo brand, 100%, 1000%. I shouldn't say that because y'all probably thinking like this shit is super expensive. It is, but it's not, okay? The brand is actually called Catherine G. Now, very unassuming. The label doesn't look like something you pick up and be like, oh, this is a great brand, let me take it. I only picked this up because of the style. This colorway, this print, it was so beautiful, and I was just like, I gotta get it. And then when, you know, it came time to sit there and check comps, I'm looking and I'm like, oh shit, this item literally is retailing for $350 online, and it's still online for $350. So I was just kind of like, interesting. So I'm gonna price mine high. And even the items that I saw on eBay, was selling between $80 to $100. So that's why I was just like, I'm really gonna get this. Then I found out that it was silk. Then I found a great stock photo for it. So I actually priced mine at $108 because I wanted to get between, you know, 80 to 90 for it. Because I still think that was a great price point. This item is without flaws. It is, you know, silk. It's a great brand. And I was like, I'm going to get a pretty good price point for it. So I ended up waking up in the middle of the night, and I had received an offer on eBay for $75. And naturally, I was like, of course. So I went on and accepted the offer because I didn't have this listed for that long. I want to say maybe 1 or 2 days, 2 days tops, and it sold. So once I received that offer, like I said, I accepted it because I'm not about to go back and forth. I think that this is a great price point for this item. It's not bringing down the market or anything like that with me accepting that one, because it's still kind of close to what all the sold comps were. So I went on and accepted it. They paid, I want to say, a couple hours later. So I paid 47 cents for this item, and I profited $66.98 from it. And I have to say that is a win in itself. If you've never heard of the brand Catherine G, pick it up, okay? Pick it up, because she's gonna sell, and she's gonna sell well. So yeah, this one sold on eBay, and it sold to somebody in Louisiana. Y'all, I picked these up, and I had so many high hopes for them because I'm like, these have that flare detail. These are in fact Y2K vintage. These are gonna do great. And all of my millennials know this booty way. Y'all know, y'all remember that with the line down the middle? Yes. So I was just like, oh, these are gonna do great. I'm gonna at least get about 35 bucks for these. I think I've had these for about 6 or 7 months now. And I actually had these listed on eBay. And at the time I had the price at a markdown because I was trying to sell some more items on eBay. And somebody sent me a $12 offer, and I was so irritated. I actually went and took the markdown off all of my items because I'm just like, bro, this item was listed at $38, okay? And I don't remember what the markdown had to have been about 40%. And you have the audacity to send me a $12 offer. And I was so agitated. So I went on, and like I said, I took the markdown off, and I said, I'm not running a sale on eBay. I'm gonna take a while before I run another sale, because that's what they do over there. And it really bothers the fuck out of me when the item is already marked down, and you have the nerve to send an even lower offer. So I was just like, I'm not doing this no more. So I went on and countered, because I'm like, okay, we're not gonna be, this is huge. I need to make this smaller. But yeah, so I'm like, I'm not gonna be upset, because I know I talked to y'all in my April What So video, and I was like, you know, some days they catch me on bad days and I decline. This particular item, I say, you know what, I'm not gonna decline, but I'm gonna counter. So I countered to, I wanna say 17, and then they ended up accepting it. So there's that. So I'm glad, I guess now that I'm looking back on it, I'm glad that I actually countered instead of declining, because I had it in my mind to just decline it, because I'm just kind of like, why are you doing this? Like, it's already priced lower. So that happened. And thank God it did, because I actually got this item out. It's been sitting, so it's time for it to go. The crazy thing is that it does get attention. So clearly I did have it priced too high. Maybe Guess is not really a brand that people is willing to pay $30 for. Their clothing, maybe their purses, but not their clothing. So this was an L, 100% an L. And I picked this up at a regular thrift store, and I paid $5.14. So I only made a profit of $10.32 off of this item, which, you know, it's not that bad. I could have put this in one of those. I did all of that for nothing. But yeah, let me know if y'all pick up Guess. This will definitely be my last time. I'll only pick it up if it has something going for it. Maybe not jeans, okay, because that was a total L. All right, so this one was a really exciting find. This one actually did make it to the haul. These are a pair of mother denim jeans. I actually got these from the bins, and these are the Looker, if I'm not mistaken. I've sold these a few times, and you know, they've done fairly well. These were priced at $65 and they sent me a $50 offer, and of course I accepted it. When I found these in the bins, I was like, why would somebody leave these behind? And then I did checks between the thigh, because the first time I found mother at the bins, between the thigh was rubbed, so it had a whole bunch of like holes, but the, you know, the item was perfect. It looked like they were brand new damn near. So the person took care of those. They was a little thick and them thighs was rubbing. But these, I looked through it, I'm like, okay, this is not bad. But then I looked a little bit closer, and it does have a little bit of hole right by the crotch area, but it's not thigh rub. So I photographed it and they sent me that offer, and I accepted it because I thought that it was a great offer for, you know, used jeans. And then it sold pretty quickly. So that's also another great thing when you get an item and it sells within, you know, a day or two. That lets you know that you picked up something great. And honestly, mother is a bolo. I've been able to find it, I want to say maybe about 6 to 8 times, and it's sold on Mercari, Poshmark, and now eBay. So I've been having a lot of luck with selling her. And this one I actually only paid 47 cents. This was on the trip where the girl only charged me 25 pounds instead of the 75. So there's that. So I profited $40.33 off of this item, and I have to say it was a win. It was a win. I hope I can get that cashier all the time because she's saving me a lot of money. Went from 75 pounds to 25 pounds. Okay. This next one also sold on eBay, and it is a Rebecca Taylor blouse. I just talked about this in the haul that y'all are going to see on Friday. But I was really happy when I found it because I feel like I remember some YouTubers talking about Rebecca Taylor. So when I finally found it at the bins, I was really excited about it. And the only problem, this one had like a tiny little makeup flaw, but it really didn't affect the item. And this blouse is just so pretty to me because it has that ruffle detail and it's silk. But this is my 3rd time finding the brand, and this is my 2nd time selling it. So we'll see how the next piece does. So this one actually sold for $20, and I paid $1.22 for it, and I made a profit of $16.56. This actually came through on an offer on eBay, and I thought $20 was okay. I think I had it listed at like $32. That's like my average price point that I put things that I want to sell for, $20 to $25. I priced it at $32 because that's the price to start it at. So yeah, it was a pretty good sale. Let me know down below if you pick up Rebecca Taylor. And if you do, does it do well for you, or is it one of those items where it has to be a specific style in order for you to pick it up? Because these blouses are doing a pretty good job. Honestly, they're doing a really good job for me lately. So I know that this is probably going to be a good bread and butter. If I see it a lot at the bins, I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. This also sold on eBay. This one was pretty disappointing. I'm going to be completely honest. It's smart wool, and it is just a men's long sleeve top. I saw the label at the bins, and I got so excited. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I'm so happy that when I'm at the bins and people are picking up things that aren't even on my radar, and vice versa. I'm sure the things that I'm picking up is not even on their radar, which works out perfectly because then there's more for everybody, you know? So when I saw this label, I'm like, who would leave this behind? And then when it was time to check out and I was looking at all of the flaws, I'm like, okay, I know why y'all left it behind. And it's because it has a shit ton of holes. It's just, I don't know, it's not in the best condition, let's just say. So I can understand why the person sold this or gave to you know, Goodwill, because it is very pilly, and it does have holes on it. And I try to make sure that I put that in the description. I always get so nervous when items that sell that are like this one that has a flaw and it's on eBay, even though I put, you know, the flaw in the description, because they can hit me with that stupid ass item not as described, and it can kind of ding my account. So that's like the only problem is like I prefer items like this sell on Poshmark, because then, you know, they can say, hey, you know, whatever the case, and then I can just go ahead and approve the return, get the item back, and, you know, resell it. But this one is very much so, it's been put through the ringer. The holes aren't huge, don't get me wrong, but you already know how black is with all of the damn lint on it. So that is the annoying part. So let me go ahead and try to do this. Y'all, I honestly wish I can hire somebody to do this part of my business, to pretty much prep the item. I want you to wash it. I want you to mend it. I want you to steam it. I want you to clean it. I want you to photograph it. I want you to, you know, get it pretty much ready for me. So when it's time for me to ship it, everything is already perfect. I even want them to store it. One day I'm gonna be able to have an employee, because that's honestly, that's all I want them to do. I want to do all of the sourcing, I want to do all of the shipping, and I want to do all of the listing. But I would prefer them to do this leg work, because this is a part of reselling that I personally don't like. I don't like the cleaning part of it, the TLC, the steaming. Just, I feel like it's just something that I just don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it. All right, y'all. Moving on to Mercari. So this actually sold on Mercari. I just found this, and for some reason it's a brand that I've never heard of. It's called Jennifer, and it was giving very much so Shein vibes, the label, but it said it was made in Korea. So I'm like, okay, this is like possibly vintage. You know, I did kind of put it at a Y2K vibe, and when I looked it up on Google Lens, it came back to an exact style from a Goldie. So I was just kind of like, interesting, but I chose not to use their stock photo because I don't want to mislead anybody. So when I listed it, I had it at I want to say 28, because I wanted it to sell for about 18 to 20 bucks. And they came back, and because I sent them an offer. Once they liked it, I sent them an offer on Mercari. Some days I send offers and some days I don't. I just got an offer for Ralph Lauren. I'm gonna accept it and I'm gonna ship it out. Well, I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm everywhere. This is like, anyways. So I sent them an offer, and I typically don't send offers on Mercari every single day. I wish I had a bot that was able to send the offers for me, because I would absolutely love that, but I don't. So maybe 3 or 4 times a week, I'll just go through my recent likes and I'll send them an offer. Probably, I try to send them something that I feel like they would accept and it works out for the both of us. But for the most part, I think 8 times out of 10, nobody responds. 1 time out of 10, they'll counter and say, hey, could you do this? And then 1 time out of 10, they'll actually accept it. But yeah, so that's what ended up happening with her. She sent me a counter, which it technically wasn't a counter. She sent it in the messages because, you know, on Mercari, you can only go as low as like 25%. So when she sent me $15, I realized I just listed it, and I don't really enjoy denim skirts because they don't do that well for me. So I was just like, okay, I could either wait for the right person to come along and they buy it at $20, or I can just go ahead and let it go for $5 less than I wanted to. It is from the bin, so why would I hoard it? So I went on and changed the price. She purchased it immediately. So I was just like, this was great. So anyways, it sold for $15 and I paid 47 cents for it, and I made a profit of $11.82, which I don't think is bad at all. I think it's actually a great price point for a no-name brand. Granted, the style looked really nice. It's just that I don't know who will be really looking for a denim maxi skirt. So yeah, y'all, my camera is about to die, so give me 1 sec. But anyway, so this is actually a Ralph Lauren piece. Like I told y'all before, this has been a brand that has completely slowed down for me. but slowed down in a sense of I'm not getting what I used to get for it. But now that I'm thinking I just need to adjust my pricing, because these are selling between $18 to $20 instead of the $25 to $30 price point that I was used to. And I'm okay with that. I think that that's still a good return on my, you know, dollar and under investment. So I'm still gonna most likely pick up this brand. Of course, I won't just pick up their super basic pieces, because lately I've been finding a lot of their super basic pieces, which is just like their t-shirts and such. And I just didn't want to invest in it, because this brand is kind of oversaturated for the most part, but people still wear it, people still like it and all of that. I am not folding this the way that I would like, but you know, it is what it is, because this paper is falling off. But yeah, so this one actually sold for $18. I actually sent offers. So this was an item that I sent an offer on, offers to watchers. It was at $25. I sent them a $18 offer. It was like 3 watchers on Mercari. So I went on and sent that, and this particular person accepted the offer, which we love. And I only paid 94 cents for this item. So I made a profit of $14.02. I hate when I have to kind of force these in these baby poly mailers. I did purchase some new ones. I just have to go to my sister's house to get it. I actually don't use my address on anything. I use 2 different addresses for everything since I moved here, because I just didn't want anything to be lost or stolen, because, oh wow, this person lives like a few cities over from me. Anyways, so we are on our last item. This actually sold this morning, and this is an Adidas pair of windbreaker like pants. I picked these up because y'all know your girl loves to pick up vintage, and these are from the brand Adidas, so we love to see it. I was happy to pick them up, and like I told y'all before, I priced these at $45 because I wanted them to sell between $35 to $40, and I received a counter offer. So I have these, like I said, priced at $45. I saw that they liked it. I sent them a $38 counter, and then they countered me $36, which I thought was kind of funny, because I'm like, $2 really. But at the same time, I'm not gonna lose a sale over $2. So I went on and got these up out of here, and I paid 95 cents for these, and I profited $29.69 on this item. These might be too long for this poly mailer. Shit. This is what I have to do for any Mercari and eBay sales. I'm happy I didn't have to rig anything, because I had to rig a few items last week. I had to put two poly mailers together in order to close up to, you know, be able to ship it. But yeah, this is the last item on Mercari. I'll just put this here. I like to try to put it over the label, just so, you know, nothing happens. But yeah, that is it, y'all. That is all that I have. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and watching this video. I will link a playlist down below that says Ship With Me, and it'll have all of my Ship With Me videos. That way you guys can play me in the background while you work, and I could just be your co-worker, you know. But yeah, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure you like this video if you actually liked it, of course. And if you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing, because, you know, I want to have my channel grow, okay? But thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one. ♪